Hello, guys, and welcome. We're here with the first game of today is going to be NoPing versus APU King of Kings, a team that has been renaming itself every day a little bit more, adding a little bit more sponsors every day, a little bit more money for themselves. NoPing has been looking really good. APU King of Kings has honestly been up and down because they managed to beat Lava 2-1, so anything can happen with them. Binomitas was kind of like that last time as well, so it makes perfect sense for them, staying true to their name. And for this wonderful panel to analyze this match, we have myself, Epulze. We get Kips as well, wonderful analyst. And this time we get Hokori's current coach and also know-it-all of the Brazilian scene. It's Mr. Felipe Stini. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here, and especially on this Brazilian clash where I have players on both sides that I coach, so maybe I can get some inside info to the guys watching, some cool stuff to say about them. And yeah, both had some really well show on the last match they had, so very excited to see what they can bring for today.
What is there any player that really stands out to you that you're like, you got to look out for this guy?
I really trust RDO is a tier 1 carry, and
Fair.
I
I agree.
guess he just needs time to show.
Okay. Have you got to see RDO a bit, Kips? I know in EU as well when he was when he had that little stint with Bait. uh, what have you noticed about him as a carry? What is it that you liked about him?
To me, he looked like a guy who very much enjoys the responsibility of being like the proper carrier player. Like I've seen him play fast,
Yeah.
but to me, he definitely seems like he wants to have that be all end all kind of power in a game, and that's something that I you called him a tier 1 carrier. That is the attitude of a tier 1 carry, where you're not afraid to be the last man standing on your team, and in fact maybe you even desire it a little bit. So that's been my read on this guy. And I gotta say, the previous match that they played in the DPC, the IO Luna, was absolutely brutal, and a lot of it just came down to him absolutely dominating his lane and playing up in that game as well.
Yeah. I think when people talk about RDO, he's often compared to, because he's, I guess, on the same level and from the same generation, to Costabile, right? And it's RDO and Costabile, particularly because they also share a decent pool of heroes, particularly the Terrorblade, which they're both
Yeah.
godlikes on. And to me, I was always a big fan of RDO for that precise reason. I agree with you. Like Costabile would play the map a bit more, perhaps, right? And he had that, like, you had a little bit of space creation carries into his pool. You'd occasionally see the Razor popped up for him, but RDO is the one true carry. He is the guy that you could give Terrorblade, and it could be the worst matchup. He could be against Shroud, and he would win regardless because he's okay. He knows how to play against every single hero, and he doesn't really need a team. He just needs people to create space for him and die in places so RDO can farm. So I'm glad that you brought him up, Astini. I think he's on NoPing, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. And he is a very different style to Benny on APU King of Kings. Benny, a Peruvian player living in Argentina, even though Wikipedia has his flag wrong for whatever reason. He is not Argentinian, does not even have the nationality, but he is a player that, unlike RDO, if you were comparing this to like maybe more traditional carries or more normal carries that people might know for, RDO is Raven from SEA. Like RDO is the guy who you can always trust. He's the guy who's not really going to make too many mistakes in the game, and he's going to farm. And he's going to carry you late game. And then Benny is like what's a good example of Benny? It's like old Matumba if he was drunk. That's like Benny. You really never know where Benny's gonna go. Like he can carry your game with Gyrocopter and be the most active early carry and actually get a ridiculous amount of farm despite a bad lane. And sometimes you'll be like, Benny, why are you having tier 3s? The tier 1 is still up. What are you doing, Benny? And that's why Binomitas was so fun to watch. He's honestly very unique. I don't know if you got to watch a lot of Binomitas last season, Astini.
Yeah, just on one thing that you mentioned, if I'm not wrong, now Benny is back to Peru because I believe with this
Yes.
merge of APU Kings with APU with King of Kings, they do have a gaming house in Peru. I believe Benny and Valky are already there, and the Brazilians might join them next year, beginning next year.
Yep. That's what we're hoping. I think they're sorting out the visas from what I heard, right? Like because that's a little bit difficult right now with the COVID situation, but it should be good. We have a draft in front of us now. APU King of Kings versus NoPing. We did talk a lot about RTO, but in both teams we have a lot of standout talent. For NoPing, we also have Monster. You guys should keep your eyes out for this player. He's been styling for a while, and he's American, North American. Who would have guessed?
He looked very solid to me. Look at that. Don't change a winning plan. NoPing going straight for the IO. I love this kind of holding on. It's like, all right, fine, we're just gonna pick this until you ban it.
Yeah. I wonder why people lose to that IO and don't ban it. That's coming from the coach that lost twice for their IO. But yeah,
Yeah, how was that? How was that discussion? Because I've been there, but I'm still curious to hear other people say it. Like, how did you also catch the IO, or were you like, nah, I'm sure we can beat it?
yeah, we had practiced against IO many times and we were pretty confident. We knew how to deal with it, but unfortunately, in the match, we didn't do as well as we were doing on practices.
Yeah, relatable.
Might come the Luna here again. I don't see any
Yeah, why
reason
not?
to change.
Maybe they're a little bit afraid of the monkey, but I don't think Luna's that bad against them, honestly.
Maybe you can secure like a Beastmaster because you see a monkey. Oh,
I mean,
Nah.
why try something new? You just IO Luna every game, huh? We do get a Monkey King for Benny. Well, I'm assuming it is a bit of a flex for them, but it could be a Benny hero, and it is something that suits his style, obviously, because he gets to go in very far, which is loves. And he also gets to farm a fair amount and play a strong lane. One of the biggest things with King of Kings, at least when they were Binomistas, is that their laning phase is actually really good. It's usually in the late game where they break down, but the laning phase is usually one of their strong suits as a team.
yeah, the thing is about the monkey is that Mini plays that hero so much. He's
It's true.
27 with the hero, I think. On Dota Plus, he has like Invoker and SF with 30. So that's his third hero. So there's a high chance this monkey can go mid. It depends on the matchup, right? So they have the last pick and they can decide on the last pick where this monkey goes.
But we
Quite a
always
flex for
talk
them.
about how Mini has a relatively low hero pool. Besides Monkey King, Invoker, SF, what heroes do you think Mini can also specialize on? Because I know you have inside information on him.
So his fourth hero would be the Void Spirit, and
Okay.
he plays Bloodseeker if you pick Invoker before him. So he plays only Bloodseeker against Invoker.
That is really weird. That is very specific.
Yeah.
Is that a great matchup? I didn't know Bloodseeker destroyed Invoker mid. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
He likes it. But yeah.
You're not really sure? Yeah, it's just mini things. Okay. Fair enough. So here, let's look at the draft. I want to hear from you, Kips. Here, you have IO Luna. Obviously, that's the base strategy. You already know what your win condition is. Pretty obvious draft because we've already seen this before. What heroes complement? What are you looking for once you picked up the win condition here? Like, what do you complement Luna with? Do you look for buffs? Are you looking for initiation, a death ball strat? What's the idea?
Buffs are cool. For me, always when I look at this IO, I want to see a second hero that this IO can play with while the Luna is farming, so that you can actually play 4 versus 4. And the Luna will still out farm the Monkey King most likely if that is the enemy carry. And then you can make full use of both the offensive as well as the defensive capabilities of the IO. So I really prefer that over strategies where the IO is constantly with their Luna or with their gyrocopter. And previously they have done that. They have picked, for example, a Tiny and a Sand King with that in their first match. So I am not opposed to either of those. Maybe the Tiny wouldn't be the greatest right now, but an initiator.
Yeah, you can play with something like a Slardar, Lash, also like... Because Lash and Storm are the mid laners that can play with IO while Luna is farming, or an off laner such as Slardar, because they ban Legion, which would be the other one. And they can also go for a support that sets up a relo kill like Bane, that you can just leave the target, have the reload, and get a kill. We've seen Team Spirit playing that on TI.
That's true, actually. That's They used to play as well with the Mars, right? They would be like the IO Mars, and then you would pick up a Bane on top of that, and they would with kill squads ready. Mars is going to be picked up for Apple King of Kings, probably the best hero of this patch, honestly. I mean, up there with Snapfire, IO, and Bane, but like he's top tier material. And with 2 abilities that can take advantage of the arena, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. It's also one of Balki's heroes that he likes. Balki, in case you guys don't know, it's short for Valkyria, which means Valkyrie in Spanish. And so any hero has this kind of mythical... It was a for Legion Commander, right? But like any hero has this kind of aspect, he's fan of. He likes the Greek mythical aspect. So I think Mars is right up his hero pool. Yeah.
Yeah, that matches. Does he play offlane Zeus?
He does not, but you know what? I'm going to suggest that to him. You know,
No.
and he can insult me for being low MR. And why are you talking about?
One hero I like against the Mars fight.
Oh, there's a Senki you mentioned, Kips. I like it. With
Sun
Mirana.
Kimrana,
Strong lane.
I mean, they are really not changing any winning plans here, are they?
It's literally what they picked on the first game against Hokori. APU Kings, they can't go the anti-mage. Was a hero I was trying to push. Anti-mage or Morphling. I think both are good choices here.
Why is Tini? Why do you say that?
Anti-mage because of the lane against Sand King Mirana, and then Io has no catch, so you're pretty happy being an anti-mage against that lineup. And Morphling, it's pretty good against the Sand King, and it's also a burst that you can jump on the Io, kill him first, and it's such a good carry matchup against Luna.
I like the Morphling idea personally. I mean, the anti-mage might be a bit too much in for my taste. I have not seen too much success. Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan. I know that Sand King, you just take advantage of the first levels these days. So actually, this is really good, right? Not only is Bane God, but also Bane strong lane support, either Snapfire as well. And the idea is from level 1 to 3, when Sand King is weakest, you just kick him out of lane. So you can pick. You're more free on what carries you pick now.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and they keep that flex for the last pick. I believe that's the reason they don't want to pick the hard carry here. So
Fair.
they get to see the mid choice of NoPing, and then
There's the Morphling.
either counter it or choose to have the monkey on mid.
If you're NoPing, do you pretend like Monkey King is going mid and do you counter it? Or are you wary of that? I'm assuming because Mini's there, right?
Yeah, they need to at least be ready for it.
Interesting. Kunkka ban. You wouldn't expect Kunkka if you're playing on Monkey King mid, huh?
Yeah. Are they banning the Tiny or letting NoPing just repeat exactly what they picked on their last match?
We'll see. I mean, if they pick Tiny, then you just put Monkey King mid, right? It doesn't seem like it's too bad a matchup.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wasn't sure that they were going to take that, and I was much more favoring the Sand King than the Tiny in this game.
NoPing has to reveal it themselves. I mean, a lot of analog heroes are also kind of countered by Monkey, like his Ember.
10 seconds remaining.
There's
Feels-
Storm.
Okay, Storm.
5 seconds remaining.
Could be good. I've seen some Storms have a lot of trouble versus Bane, but you're not the sole initiator here because there's also Sand King, and it helps a lot.
Yep. You even have the covering of Lucent Beam, which is honestly not a joke when you want to cancel the Fiend script, right? With the talent and everything.
Really nice.
Okay. I like the Storm idea. A bit on the greedier side, but because Sand King is such a space creator and you have strong lanes, not bad.
And they strongly believe it's a monkey meat because they just banned 2 carries.
Yeah. They're thinking about it.
Storm is decent against the monkey on lane, and in the game it's super great.
Dire team pick.
There we go. What a panel.
And now the anti-mage looks even nicer.
The anti-mage does look very nice, actually. Yep. I'm not gonna lie, I like the anti-mage now.
I'm a big anti-mage hater as well, and even I have to say that there's time for the anti-mage right now. This Luna Io, unless they completely run away with the game, are not actually going to shove all his towers down. There's going to be space on these side lanes, and you have so many good targets to go on in these team fights. It does look rather a lot like an anti-mage game.
Is the Monkey King's Storm Spirit matchup playable? Is it okay for the Monkey King? Can he make it out of that?
It's playable on the lane. And on the game, it's bad, so another reason that you don't want the monkey as position 1. What they could play here is SF, which is super great against the Storming lane, and you have the Fear with the Mars Arena. It's kind of weak. It can be really easily bursted with a Sand King stun, but can be just one of mini comfort if they choose a mid laner.
Yeah, if you're a drafter for King of Kings, you're like pretty happy. It's like, Mini, which one of your 4 heroes do you want this game? Oh, 3 are bad? Well, there you go. All right, this is going to be the last pick, and they're going to go for a Gyrocopter. All right, this is Benny's best hero. This is more of a comfort pick than anything. I mean, Gyro is actually good at abusing the Sand King in the early levels too. He's not as good at the anti-mage. How do you guys see this pick?
Attempt to keep up with RDO, most likely.
Okay.
Making use of the fact that the tempo of this game with the Storm Spirit, they are leaving a little bit of space on NoPing, so King of Kings is really going all in on that. And they have really good lane push with that Monkey King. A lot of ganking potential for the Mars Snap. you can definitely play a longer game here, and if you manage to get a couple of ganks off on this Luna, the question is, of course, how Monster is going to do, because this man can really direct the entirety of the game over on NoPing. But I'm not opposed to this gyro. I think there was space for it.
Steven?
And the Gyro also gives very good roach team fights. So they have the arena, they have Gyro ultimate, they have the monkey ring. So they have all that roach team fight, and that's something that NoPing really wants to do fast with that like 16, 17 minute BKB on Luna or even earlier. They want to get the Aegis and just push the map, and King of Kings, they might be able to fight that fight and delay a lot NoPing's game. So I can see King of Kings draft working, but I would still give advantage to NoPing.
All right, we'll see if King of Kings can take this game, can do like with Lava and make the impossible happen, or if NoPing, they continue their domination here and prove that they're going to be one of the top teams in the SA DPC. For now, we're going to move to our casters, who are going to grant us their wonderful voices for this great encounter. It's SeekNStrike and Lacoste.
Yes, thank you, Avo. We're here to grant you our voices for what is going to be a wonderful series. NoPing and APU, King of Kings Lacoste. It's already kind of getting scary, right? Because SA Dota, SA Division 1 rather, they only have 2 slots to the major this season. And that means for these guys, you can't really expect to take more than 2 losses and be heading to the major. APU King of Kings already has 1 loss, so it's getting down to it for them already.
You gotta be careful. One thing we always say about the DPC, gotta take not every series, but every game. You gotta take it seriously. Otherwise, maybe against some weaker teams, you try to be fancy, doesn't end up well. You lose the game. There are so many good examples in the EU West and even EU East where stuff happens. Like even North America, like EG, they lost to Black and Yellow.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
So you got to be very careful how you approach this one. But let's focus on this. NoPing, pretty much the same draft as they had against, who was it? Was it Hokori? I think it was. Yeah, it was Hokori. So they swapped things around. I like this trifecta of heroes, Luna, Io plus Storm Spirit, because you play with Luna, but also you do not want to take too much farm out of Luna when she's farming a triangle. So you play with the Storm Spirit, you give him mana, you refill the bottles, so that's going to be very effective. I don't think I've seen Luna, Io plus Storm Spirit lose, to be honest.
Yeah, just the tempos play together so nicely as well, right? Especially Storm, who looks to get that first item online, whether it's going to be the Orchid or something different. Luna, who just wants to farm, so you have the Storm to cover him. But the global kind of presence on these heroes as well just always feels
you have
amazing.
A lot of ways to set things up. Like one sanking blink into Burrow Strike could set up for a good relocate. Or you see no hero, Storm Spirit zips in into Vortex. You need a good coordination for it. Last pick, Gyro. This is Gyro without any kind of buff. They have nothing to buff him up with. So I'm a bit worried. Also, a bit worried for his laning stage. That's something that APU King of Kings are doing really nicely is zoning out the sanking. They understand sanking level 1 most of the time. He holds onto a point. He does not want to go in and start with Caustic Finale, especially since you're playing into 2 range heroes. So that means you're not going to get the value out of it. So might just completely skip it, get the Sandstorm and the Burrow Strike, and push out the wave, get the Gyro off to a good start. Exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, and that all seems good and wise. And you brought up a point that I was actually a little bit shocked to see APU King of Kings decide to go into. And that's kind of enter in a farm battle versus one of the players in SA that maybe behind Hector K1 likes to farm the most, and that's RDO, right? He went to Europe, he farmed a lot over there for 2 seasons. Now he's back to SA on the Luna with a Wisp. They pick up a Gyro with no ways to buff him. I don't know how he's going to keep up, to be honest.
I don't think he can. I don't think that's the game. Also, if he gets shut down in the lane, so far he's doing okay, 6-3. Also, you have one of the best heroes in the game to steal the stacks with, if any are being made for Gyrocopter. You have Storm Spirit, who's very active early on. You have Sanking, even Luna going with the Gyro. But good thing for APU King of Kings is, I think, Panel talked about how it's a good AM game. It was, but it's also very slow. You need to match what also Panel mentioned, 16, 17 minute timing. I think that's very good prediction where NoPing wants to do, especially since they're playing Radiant as well. Go for Roche, get a lot of advantage, take tier 2 towers with the first Roshan, and then like it's pretty standard stuff how Dota is being played these days with first and second Roshan. First one is to get some advantage, second one is to close out the game.
Yeah, exactly. Teams always looking to accumulate like a 10 to 12, 17k net worth, really ideal with that first Aegis. Kind of close out the tower, farm the entire map, and just not allow enemies to fight into you. Yeah, it looks pretty scary. I mean, there's 2 great Aegis holders. Storm is, in my opinion, the best Aegis carrier in the game.
Yeah, I think in this, if they get 2 Roshans, first Aegis goes to Storm Spirit, because he's a bit more active and will most likely die. Iroh, in a way, plays with Luna if they're pushing, and the second one you give to Luna because you want to siege the high ground, and Storm doesn't deal any tower damage.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be the game plan here. So fighting for first Roche seems to be kind of the game plan, or it seems to be APU King of Kings. They need to be ready for it, is what I'm thinking here.
They have heroes to be ready with. These heroes are come online very early on. Gyro, Mars, you have so many circles. I mean, this was one of the best combos, I think, in the previous year, at least for me. Monkey King, Wukongs, plus Arena, you can't get out. Pretty powerful top lane, Arrow.
They're just using it to back off here. It's the curse of Burrow Strike, isn't it? It's your movement spell, it's your mobility, and a stun at the same time. So if you needed to use it to get out of a pinch, it also means you can't use it to set up for a kill, usually. But that lane's starting to go a little bit both ways now, that monster. He's taking the sampler build of 1-1-1. And with the point and arrow, of course, this lane incredibly deadly. What I meant to ask you was, what do we need? What do APU King of Kings need to fight for that first Roshan? A blink on Mars, for example, a necessity. Gyro needs an item. What do you think they're looking for in order to be able to contest that first Rosh timing?
I want to see the itemization from Monkey King on mid lane because he's doing much better than I expected. Something that comes online relatively fast. Blink on Mars, also not a bad idea. I don't think in this situation. Oh, I'll hold that thought, Cookie.
Yeah, there's the cookie, and with the Jingu Mastery bonus damage, the simple rotation coming through from the Snapfire is going to net Mini a first blood. That's pretty major here. I didn't expect this lane to go this well for Mini, but that's what the Grandmaster tag is for, huh?
Yeah, and Snapfire also did a very good job controlling the rune. So she took the water rune on the bottom. Monkey got one on the top, which means Storm Spirit didn't get anything out of it, and she also... Did Granny stack anything? She didn't, but also very nice movement. They get the first blood. So I want to see what Monkey does. I think an active item, something... I would maybe prefer if he gets like either a Diffusal Blade into a BKB, just to have a bit more lockdown, or Echo Saber into BKB, because you will need... Like, this is not your carry, Monkey, which means that you need to create some space for your Gyro. And Gyro's back. A lot of disconnects in South America. That's what I noticed.
Yes, it is very much the norm here, especially when you have a couple of players playing across regions. I didn't take note of which server this was for game number 1, but we heard our panel discussing the whereabouts of Benny and all that. Of course, is well, even though the geography might suggest otherwise, if you just look at a map, the server and ping difference between Peru and Brazil is mighty high.
Yeah, I think Radiant has much better advantage when we're talking about the ping. Like, the whole squad is called NoPing.
Of course, NoPing VPN even, So shout outs to their sponsors for finding a segue into our little discussion. Yeah, but back to the Monkey King discussion. Hold that thought, Benny, he'll be fine. Theoly Core is going to get himself nightmared up, but he did get that leap out to prevent any further harass damage from coming through. Real quick, Benny going for this maximum farming build on the Gyrocopter, right? He already has the 1 point in stats, 3 points in flak cannon. Might see the Falcon Blade, might just see a straight Ags Rush on him after this one. We'll check in with him in a bit. But both of your suggestions for Mini's Monkey King, Keely had that BKB ready to go as the second item, as the rotation mid for Bane is not going to net them this kill. Analog actually out of mana, so Mini might look to continue chasing, especially with the Jingu bonus damage. Analog trying to get himself denied, can't get
one
it
leap
done.
left.
There is, a leap for Theoly Core,
Nice
but
timed.
he's just going to leap his lifeless corpse up to the high ground. Ooh, and that is another double kill here for Mini's Monkey King.
And they can also start to pressure tower a bit. 11 seconds until Storm is back. And I also love like the itemization straight into power treads, getting Orb of Corrosion. And look at this rotation right now. Like this is game-winning rotation.
Yeah. RDO is going to be the target. Scatterblast is going to split the pair, but they will be able to at least isolate RDO to the tree. King Jungle's trying to sustain through this, but he's just a level 4 Wisp. Didn't have much burst healing. One Fairy Fire, not enough, and it might not even be able enough to keep himself alive, as the Spear, as well as the Scatterblast, will catch him. That's another great rotation. 5 unanswered kills so far from APU King of Kings. Game-winning moves, Lacoste, you say?
Yeah, Mini has been really impressive. I saw him play a couple of times. I watched some of the replays to get the better like grasp of the teams, how they're doing. And this guy, like, he knows what's up. I'm really impressed overall. Like, his rotations, his itemization is on point. Like, his Invoker, what he's probably most known for, just speaks for itself as well. And this is what I talked about. Storm Spirit going in, you need to be careful about that. He decided to take one of the stacks. It wasn't as big, but this should also result in tower. One thing that APU King of Kings don't have is tower damage. So Monkey deals some. You know, he's going to be relatively big. Orb of Corrosion is some cheap damage, but they need to play with the catapults. Or they need to bring numbers. Because if you see what's happening right now, top lane has fallen. And RDO is going to play the top part of the map. Doesn't feel too secure bottom after that big gank from Mini.
Yeah, NoPing, they set up the very traditional kind of rotation ward on the high ground spot here, top lane. And that'll give them a lot of cover here alongside the Wisp.
They're already prepared for the top lane that Luna wants to sit here. And also they want to be in the triangle, but that needs to be covered. Like, they need to be able to ward it first. Right now, they don't see too much on the map. There is Benny showing on the top lane and Valky on bottom, but that's it pretty much, because the rest of the heroes are missing.
Monster on this offlane Senking is going to try and head into this first item, Blink Dagger. I actually kind of like that. They just need a little bit more initiation. Like Kips was saying during the panel, Storm cannot be their only source of initiation against a Bane. It's just a little bit too risky. Having someone to follow up or at least initiate before Storm, give the vision, I think is going to go a long way towards NoPing. Starting to recover this game. It's not too far out of their grasp yet. As Analog is scouted heading into the triangle. He'll be forced back. Out of mana, and they have vision. They're giving chase along with Mini in tow. Yeah, they're not going to chase this far, not having any vision on the Sand King. Heading in a straight line might be a bad idea versus that hero.
Yeah, also, Bane didn't have Boots of Speed, so no real chase potential, just sitting with the Windlace at the moment. Right now, some vision being set for Luna to be able to farm the triangle, and she's going to be pretty big. Let me swap the network to see how they're doing. Where's my key? Not working. Yeah, Monkey King's still sitting at the top of the network.
Still impressive stuff out from him. He's going to be going for that Echo Saber first. Nearly has that completed. Able to get these Jingu stacks up a lot faster. You can kind of tank a lot more damage when he's safely going to know that he has a good chance of getting up that Jingu Mastery. As Analog clears away mid. There's a smoke behind the tower here, as the supports will be able to find themselves a Mirana. The Invis Rune goes into the bottle of the Storm Spirit, however. There's the Cookie, the Leap to make a little bit more space. Boundless Strike doesn't quite find the Uli Core, however, as they look to now turn, along with this relocate in. It's NoPing, they finally shed some blood for themselves, as they'll pick up the kill onto the Bane.
Yeah, this wasn't very impressive. They catch Mirana, set things up with Nightmare, so you still need some time to execute. It wasn't even timed perfectly, but both supports were level 4, and it's kind of a shitty situation. You need, like, both of these supports need level 6 to be able to kind of play Dota at the moment. Because if you compare, let's say, Mirana and Io, Mirana doesn't need Moonlight Shadow to fight. Io's relocate is okay, it's not crucial, but if you compare like what Bane brings with Fiend's Grip, and most importantly Snapfire, so no surprise that they gave Snapfire a book.
Yep, get these kisses ready to start flying. Especially because they're going to be crucial for contesting that Roche, but not yet. Another 5 or so minutes until we expect that to start popping off a little bit.
You mentioned Gyrocopter's item build. This is what I've seen in other regions. Dragonlance. Dragonlance is one of the best items right now because you can disassemble it. So you get a Dragonlance, and then you can get either like Yasha, or you can straight up get Aghanim Scepter while disassembling Dragonlance, which I think is going to be the play here. So you get to the Aghanim Scepter faster. Every single item you buy, you get the cost-efficient small item from it.
Yeah, that's disassemble play has been used quite a bit, and I think that's why we see the Dragonlance here. King Jungles is not tethered to RDO at the moment. Does have the relocate at the ready. Careful here, this Bane with Fiend's Grip as well. Could just start to kick off the gank underneath the tower. There they go, but they need to have vision here of the Wisp. Relocate is incoming. Kisses as well raining down, but he's already got him out of there. And that is 3 ultimates used there, Lacoste. They're not going to find anything for it.
Yep, nicely done. You said Io wasn't there, but managed to time it perfectly. He saw Fiend's Grip being used, starts to use the relocate and gets him out. Maybe if Snapfire used ulti immediately, I think 2 kisses would do the trick. Storm Spirit, like his item build, straight into Orchid, not fooling around, literally nothing, just Orchid, 1 branch and the bottle. I guess the reason behind this is to be able to get a better pickoff. Oh, KJ.
He's all right. He's got that tether play back to RDO. RDO says, what are you doing? Don't stop wasting time. Give me overcharge. I need to keep farming.
And to go back to disassembling items, Monkey King, he goes for Echo Saber. If like his second item should be BKB, no doubt about it, because you want to hit a certain timing. You can always disassemble it, so it's extra 1,000 gold that you need to farm for a BKB, and then once you finish it, go back to Echo Saber if you want to hit a certain timing. But if you feel like you need to farm, if nothing's happening, you're gonna keep it.
And speaking about these timings, Analog, he keeps getting these Mud Golem camps, which, of course, with their 50% magic resist is very annoying. But speaking of timings, he is now got this Orchid on the way, so I expect to see a little bit more aggressive movement from NoPing, perhaps Moonlight Shadow in 30 seconds or so, but I am expecting to see NoPing start to at least try and take a little bit more of a decisive role in this game, or a tempo-setting role, as there's the smoke play already, along with Theolicor and Analog. Relocate as well is ready, so don't forget they can bring in the Luna at a moment's notice.
It's a big one. Sanking. Starts a fight. Relo.
Here's the zip.
Available. No.
Arena is out, though. That might be enough to turn this fight as Sanking Analog trapped both in here. Scatterblast is going to pick off the Scorpion as down he goes, but it's a 2-for-1 trade. Like I said, there's RDO immediately joining the fight. Benny is here as well, but only has a level 1 call down on physical damage as Many joins the fun, but the relo. Oh, nice play, King Jungles. He's going to bring back the Storm, but that's going to leave RDO here in a bit of a tough spot as the kisses are coming down from where the side shop used to be. That is going to pick up the kill on RDO. Theolicor simply leaps away. A 2-for-3 trade off the back of the Orchid reveal. Still a better trade, though, for NoPing, even if they lose their hard carry.
Good old side shop. Man, I kind of miss side shop sometimes because we took out 2, we removed the shrines, now we have these crappy outposts that don't do anything. But the big fight for NoPing, I would say, even though they lost to Luna, next fight, like, should probably do the same trick. Their next big thing is picking up the Blink Dagger on a Sanking, which he has, and now they can start playing a bit more aggressive. And this is exactly what we see. Mirana and Sanking smoking up. They're ready to go once again. They don't rely so much on cooldowns. Even without Epi, they can still get the kill with 1 Burrow Strike into Orchid. There is no real counterplay. The only save APU King of Kings have. Oh man, they need to get another sponsor so I can say, APU King of Kings, yada yada yada, something else, and make a mistake. But Nightmare is their only save. There's the save. Arrow should be an easy one.
That's a pretty big one. I'm surprised that they had Valky up there to tank again, because he did just purchase his Blink Dagger. He was maybe looking for a little bit of a better initiation, but Benny is also about to purchase, and in fact has now just purchased his Scepter. Like you said, he did that little disassemble trick. He had just the point booster needed for that item. Disassembles the Dragonlance. All of a sudden, you're rocking a full Scepter. So his farm speed is going to start taking off. He's done a good job, actually, of keeping pretty close pace with the Luna, but right now, when it comes to the teamfight impact, Luna easily is going to have him beat to the punch. As speaking of punch, NoPing are going to land a few here onto the Bane, so they're without a Fiend's Grip for 20 seconds. And covered by the Moonlight Shadow after taking the Tier 1 tower, NoPing are not going to look for any further fights. It's starting to get close to this Roshan window that the panel was speaking about. What conditions do NoPing need to really safely go for it? Perhaps a kill onto Gyrocopter would do it, I suppose. Oh, but the spear, it catches Analog. He jumps right in front of it. Prevents the Sanking from tanking it, but he will drop himself. And it looks like Theo Licor is next to go. That's 3 dead.
Wow.
That's not certainly what you need to do, Roche.
They're not respecting the team fight damage, especially at this point when the BKBs are still not online. Wukong's command into Mars Arena and Kisses on top of it. Like, even with these 3 spells, they can just completely win a team fight. For NoPing, it was a good one. They take the tier 1 tower, they scout Bane with an arrow. Great follow-up with the Storm Spirit, but kind of overextended. So for now, we have a really interesting game.
For now, of course. Can always change on a moment's notice, but NoPing, yeah, overextending just a little bit there. Might change here. RDO, of course, going for my favorite build on the Luna. That's right, 6 Ogre Axes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing of beauty. It's too much strength. I mean, what do you do against this?
I kind of prefer Shadow Amulet if you're griefing. It's the old school, because with Ogre Axes, you can't get the XP. Maybe you're tanky enough, you know, you sit there,
That's
literally unkillable.
Yeah, I think the reason Lacoste he's probably going for it, of course, is for this max health regen that Overcharge has, you know. Shadow Amulet doesn't give you any strength, while 6 Ogre Axes is going to give you 60. All that health regen is going to allow you to sit and grief a little bit easier.
Oh, thanks for explaining me that.
I got you.
You know, thank you.
I got you.
You're a better griefer than me, huh?
What can I say? What can I say? Yeah, I've played a lot of pubs in NA, Lacoste. It's you have to learn in the trenches.
Yeah. I think this game is a perfect example how itemization should be used in the game. Like if you talk about Gyro, something that I mentioned, and he goes back to Dragonlance, and what he can do is disassemble Dragonlance again and get a BKB. And he can also purchase Dragonlance for like 3rd time, but that's not what you want. Overall, just some top tier stuff, I would say, coming out from both of these teams. Snapfire as well. This item, you don't see it. Spirit Vessel against Io and Luna. She eventually gets Satanic. She has Mask of Madness. So that means a lot of healing. And I'm really glad that Snapfire decided to go for it. And now she even holds on to Philosopher's Stone, which means eventually you're going to get the Shard, you're going to get a Blink Dagger, maybe even a casual Glimmer Cape would help, but also the strength gain from Snapfire, plus the itemization, Raindrop, Magic Wand, and Spirit Vessel makes you so tanky.
Are you as big of a fan as the Spirit Vessel for NoPing side? Because Theo Licor's also had one for a while now.
Oh, it's kind of a classic. On Snapfire, you usually don't see it. Oh, Epi.
Yeah, Benny, he's going to be found this time around. Is he going to be tanky enough? Not quite, especially with that relocate, bringing in all 5 members of NoPing. That's going to leave the Snapfire here in a bit of a rough spot, but Valky's looking to try and turn, but the BKB from RDO is going to get it off in time. There's going to be the Fiend's Grip canceled, even though it did get through the BKB of RDO momentarily. Mini as well is going to use his BKB as APU King of Kings desperately try and defend the triangle after they've already lost their hard carry.
Oh!
And that was close.
He almost got it. That was like less than 0.1. But a great fight there. Luna, BKB, first usage. They managed to get the 4 kills. Monkey. I want to see his next item. Whether that's going to be like Scotty, or if he feels they lack a bit of damage, go for Crystallis into Scotty. Maybe you noticed, but I tend to talk a lot about itemization. I think
No, I think it's crucial.
I think it really is crucial. That's why I talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I think it kind of determines whether teams can or cannot take fights. I think the best teams, they do fairly predictable things for a reason, right? You know, I was talking about Storm, right, as he got that Orchid. Of course, they smoke and they go to take advantage of it, right? These are just things naturally you want to do in Dota, especially when there's such a big objective as Roshan, right? And here's my segue. As the BKBs are up, we're in this window now. APU King of Kings have their items to possibly, contest this Roche as they look to set up themselves a little bit of vision. When do NoPing decide to make this move? Tier 1 tower is down. They still have their Tier 1 top, they're Radiant, so they have this advantage. When do things start to go, full Roche timing for them?
Right now, they can't just go in, considering the lineup that APU King of Kings have. They got to respect it. Already made a mistake once. Their first Roshan timing was that fight when they completely lost it near tier 2 tower when they extended.
Yep.
They need to take another fight. What they're waiting for is Eclipse to be online, because that's the damage that they also need. Like, they rely on Eclipse, especially pre-BKBs. Gyro still doesn't have his, but will have it in 100 gold. Disassembling Dragonlance will give them that better timing that I mentioned.
Sorry, Dragonlance. This time it's time to say goodbye, as Benny's got it. The full BKB already on the way. Another smoke gank, though. They're going to kick it off to him.
Good
BKB's
sleep.
on the way. This would be tragic if he's going to go down, but the sleep keeps him alive for now. The epicenter as Analog jumps onto him. Out of mana, though. He's going to have to eat a Fiend's Grip, and down he goes. Theo Licor still trapped in the Wukong's command, is going to be second to drop. APU King of Kings, though, they still end up losing 3 and cannot get either the Wisp or the Luna as they relocate back top lane. An explosive fight. Oh, this just breaks my heart whenever I see it. Gyro, he got his BKB mid-fight, but
Yeah,
he needed it a little bit earlier.
Like, it's not that easy to use. It was a great Nightmare save from Bane and instantly Fiend's Grip on a Storm Spirit, so Storm Spirit dies. Unfortunately, Gyro was already low, so his BKB didn't do that much. Still, Luna, king of this game for a moment. Let's see if she decides to buy a shard. I would assume she will, considering that still Roshan #1 didn't die. That means you can't really rely on Lucent Beam Shard to hit people, and you want to have that timing a bit earlier. Monkey King going for Deso. I said, cheap damage if they feel like they need more damage, because most of their damage comes out with the combo that they got. It's going to be way harder to execute once Storm Spirit gets a BKB. The only thing he needs to care about is Bane's Grip, and they can cancel that with either an arrow, Lucent Beam from Luna, which is low cooldown. You got that 15 talent, which reduces it by 3.5 seconds. And notice this, bottom tier 1 tower, still alive. This is something that APU King of Kings didn't really play around, which is a bit of a shame, because it opens up the map for them, and they couldn't play the bottom part of the map with this tier 1 tower still being alive.
Yeah, very true. It felt like they just kind of let NoPing kind of just come at them and rely on their team fight kind of counter initiation to get them out of a lot of bad fights. But NoPing, to their credit, they've been able to find openings regardless, as now APU King of Kings are going to go for a smoke gank of their own. BKBs for everyone at the ready. There's no kisses and no Fiend's Grip, but they're both coming off cooldown right now, so they're timing this one perfectly, and they even find themselves a Wisp. Probably wanted the Luna. Oh, and they might not even get the Wisp, actually, as he gets a max distance tether, and he's out of there.
Boundless Strike not used. I think they thought maybe there's going to be a Fiend's Grip. A Boundless Strike needs to be used. Let's see how NoPing approaches this one. They have the tools to fight it. Storm Spirit still doesn't have a BKB, but I don't think they want to give this out one for free. Smoke?
No, they do not. Analog is about half mana, though, so he's a little bit restricted. He's got a full bottle and a Wisp if he needs, but with the Deso up on the Monkey King, this one's fallen just way too fast. There's the zip on in, but Benny's already grabbed this Aegis. Mini pops the BKB as they're going to go in now with the Epicenter. It's not doing any damage, though, because everyone's already BKB'd. The Storm is just going to die on the backlines as Mini jumps him. RDO's even in trouble. There's no relocate out, so he just has to... Oh, there is a reload out. Just kidding. RDO is A-OK. BKB'd up, though, is NoPing. They contest the Roche, but they're just a little bit too late.
Too slow. I think it comes down to that Monkey King who decided to purchase Deso, which opened up the Roche for them. KJ will pay with his life. The Olicor try to play, go for a sneaky...
top lane. Nice. Mini, he's going to pick off that kill onto Monster. Just the game sense knowing that with Aegis, they were going to be looking to cut waves and delay the push. He picks up a free kill as he just cuts off the Sand King. But yeah, sorry, you were saying about this Monkey King Deso.
Yeah, this opened up the Roche potential for them. They decided to go in. It feels APU King of Kings have great understanding of how strong they are in the team fights with the Wukong's command, and there's only one BKB for now. Storm Spirit game kind of fallen off so quickly. Sand King has 1,000 net worth more than him, and if we compare two mid laners, Monkey's sitting at 14,000, almost 15.
Yeah, he's managed to keep himself... Yeah, very easily above, actually, the Storm Spirit. That's a really good point. He's actually even just ahead of his Gyrocopter, who, of course, is farming with Ag Scepter, so that's no easy feat. But that's why Mini is the Monkey King specialist on this mid lane. To be honest, though, I'm more surprised that the Storm just hasn't been able to move around the map too much, because feels to me like they've got some pretty great setup, especially with Orchid. He just zips on in, finds a vortex into the arrow, and that's a kill. But we haven't really seen too many of those. He's 3, 5, and 8 on the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, couldn't find many openings. I think that overextension on a mid lane kind of cost him quite a lot. And also Mini, his movements around the map were top tier so far. His itemization on point. He hit that level 20, -7 seconds on the Boundless Strike, so he will not be afraid to use it more frequently. Now, Gyro, having that Aegis, they can go for some. I mean, they still have to kill a tier 1 tower on the bottom, which would be pretty easy with just a Monkey King. But what they're looking for is some tier 2 towers and potentially open up even more, especially if they get a kill. If they get a pick off, it's going to be very easy. I'm really concerned about NoPing right now. They got like this Storm who's super underfarmed, and your offlaner, he doesn't scale. Sanking no matter what you buy on him, unless we're talking about being 5-6 slotted, it's still the same thing. His damage output is going to be the same no matter which item he gets in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes even.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually, because it feels like Storm almost has that same issue, kind of irregardless, unless he's 6-slotted, of course. Once the BKBs come online, if you don't get like a 100-0 jump before they can get off their BKB, it feels like you're just kind of a support killer as well on this hero. We saw Analog make his jump into Roshan, for example, earlier, and then he was just out of mana and didn't do anything against the BKB'd heroes. They just ran him down. So it feels like you have 2 heroes that actually kind of fall into that same category.
Yes.
As there's an arrow onto Mini. He doesn't have Aegis, but he's fine. There's no immediate follow-up.
No, Mini needs to go back. They have 3 Spirit Vessel charges. I'm not sure if you want to commit. There's too much value coming out from that item to just use it on a Monkey King. He can go to base, TP back. They still have tier 2 towers.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yep, as Benny makes very quick work of that tier 2. There's RDO, so he's now got the Shard like you suggested, as well as Daedalus, so just building into damage. Scotty is going to be next for him. Kind of surprised he didn't go for the Scotty first, but they do need damage from somewhere now, as it's been proven time and time now that NoPing don't have enough magic damage any longer for the APU King of Kings, especially when BKBs are online.
I think RDO's thinking here, what do we need? Mid lane doesn't deal that much damage anyway. Same goes for my off lane. So I need to be the one. Like, it's a bit of a risky play, relying on relocates to get out. I think this is a correct choice. Usually what we see is Crystallis into Shard, into Scotty. But this time around, he also needs to start thinking about those BKBs. Like, how do I deal damage? And Daedalus is the perfect choice, pretty much.
Yep, agreed. Plus at the rate he farms up, he should be not too far behind for that Scotty. As there's an arrow going fishing for Benny. He'll simply sidestep that one as he continues to siege the tier 2 tower. Benny will assist here, especially with that Deso minus armor. That's now the second tier 2 tower taken down. I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't expecting APU Kings to get the first Aegis this game.
Yeah, this whole NoPing's draft kind of relies on getting the first Aegis and then snowballing from there. This is something that they've done so far in the DPC.
I mean, I guess, how do they recover, right? They're just farming on the Luna now and dodging these fights, but eventually the fight's going to come to them, isn't it?
This is not a place to be. There's a tier 1 tower, but they need some backup. NoPing needs to play behind Luna because this is a very risky play right now.
Yeah, there's the 3-man smoke gank as well from NoPing, as they will hold their high ground ward. Luna was holding the tier 1 tower, and now they're going to go out and link up close to the outpost and potentially head into the enemy triangle. There's still an Aegis, though, for another, what is this, 35 seconds. Yeah, Valky is going to be the target here. He's going to get Orchided up. He does not have BKB, so they might be able to 100-0 him, but not if the Nightmare can save him. Doesn't save him for too much longer. Kisses, though, and all the magic damage zoning away everyone else as no one came back in to help Analog. Monster not tanky enough. RDO a little bit hesitant to commit that deep into the triangle. So the long-range ultis will be able to shut down NoPing.
Very risky move. Fighting into that Aegis, I think the timing wasn't really perfect. Look at Benny's HP. He's very low. If they could have try to maybe time it a bit better. Wait for 20 seconds. Timing would have been much better. Even without any kind of empower and anything that can, any kind of steroid, Gyro's still keeping up with Luna, which is pretty impressive. I mean, they are, I'm going to say winning the game, but they're in a better situation. Still being able to match Luna's farm with IO is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I brought that up when we were kind of breaking down lanes. I didn't really expect them to keep this even, especially, again, with RDO, and even King Jungle is one of the better Wisp players in South America. So really impressive stuff from APU King of Kings. With this first Aegis, they built themselves up a 7k net worth lead. How many towers did they take? 1, 2, 3, 4 towers down on the map. So really impressive first Aegis from APU King of Kings. Kind of turning this game plan around on their heads, as there's going to be another jump. Storm on the way in here, going for the Bane first, as they've gotten rid of the Sand King. However, now NoPing on the run. Analog completely out of mana as RDO and King Jungle is relocating back into this fight. Valky's been a little bit isolated here, but Benny looking to join the fight is not going to be able to stun up, of course, the Wisp, as the relocate back is going to persist.
And Mini gets him.
Oh, yeah, Theolacor was in the triangle. Oh, wow, and Mini's got a Daedalus.
When I said they need cheap damage, I didn't mean Daedalus and Deso, because right now this Monkey King is really big. They set up some really nice vision. Look at them, like you can connect these 3 lines and it gives you so much information. Pretty much you get information from all 3 lanes. Analog, low on mana.
Yeah, I was going to say, they were looking for him. You were highlighting these wards and he zipped right through them. As, yeah, the vision game as well, really helping out APU King of Kings. Especially for how aggressive they're playing. I mean, these wards are all useless, right? If NoPing is sieging your towers and doing all this, but with this first Aegis that they got and basically took away from NoPing, they've been able to play a very aggressive game, as down goes the last outer tower. Ooh, this game's starting to look pretty scary for NoPing, actually.
I gotta
Down
move
8K.
I have my camera where clock and net worth is, so I have to move it. 8k. Sometimes we can get fooled by those numbers, you know. It doesn't give you the exact way how the game is played at the moment and the state of the current things. But I would say this is pretty accurate. I would say even like 8k maybe feels a bit low on my end. Because like Luna can still do so much. Skadi is finished. That's gonna reduce some healing coming out from Monkey King's Jingu Mastery and Satanic from Gyro.
Satanic.
Yeah, so
yeah, it's a big one.
Great item. I want to see like how they can start. They need to find this Bane. Like Bane doesn't have a defensive tool. They have like Cookie. That's it. That's their defensive tool. So they need to be able to jump him. I think big part of the APU King of Kings, I'm gonna call it a win, but the situation they're in right now comes down
success.
Yeah, it comes down to their vision, because they had a really great vision and they're underneath the board. Like this is not getting devorded, which is very weird.
Oh, the jump, the arena, they get the Sand King, and that could have been one way to deal with the Bane instantly. The stun as well finds Analog. He's going to get a mini zip and a secondary zip off and away, as Benny was looking to just chase them all the way into the fountain seemingly before he was stopped by the Lucent's beam. Yeah, I mean, you spoke about that net worth lead. Now it's 9k. The way I break this down is, I mean, basically, you've got one more hero that's doing way more damage now, and it's this Monkey King. He's got the Wukong's command ring, so now he's very useful for the siege, for that kind of long-distance siege, or for a potential Roche zone out, who's going to be respawning here in 3 seconds, and it looks like APU King of Kings are going to go ahead and walk into the pit and
perfect
just
timing.
See him respawn. Oh, I think they see him?
Yeah,
they
Monkey,
see him.
Monkey
Okay.
saw it. Okay, so previous fight, they die underneath this ward. It doesn't get devorded. Now the Observer ward near Tier 1 tower on the mid lane, also scouting them out. They feel really safe, because, like, where could they possibly be? I don't know. This is where, like, you kind of win the games off of these wards on the high ground. They're starting to rush already.
There's no arena for another 20 seconds, but there's a BKB ready for Mars, so he's going to be a little bit more tanky, a little bit more durable, difficult to take down. Gyro, the only one in the pit, as the Wisp Spirits will scout him out. Wukong's command being channeled by Mini, as there's the Yule Scepter, but no arrow is ready here for the off-lane Mars, as Roche falling low. Luna is underneath the ward, though, as Wukong's command's going to zone him out. The Aegis is on the ground here. No one's picked it up quite yet. No, it's Analog. He's picked up the Aegis. He's going to lose his life immediately, but that's not an Aegis for Benny, as the fight now breaks out around him. Mini, though, he's way too big. He's going to shut down Analog a second time. The arena is going to prevent Luna from escaping here, but here's King Jungles already with the relocate. Gets his core out of a difficult position. NoPing, they snatch away the Aegis. And now looking to retreat. How far can they make it, though? Not very likely, Lacoste, as there's the Nightmare reflected. should still be enough to set up this kill pretty easily. Mars eats an arrow, but Mini is going to be eating Scorpion tonight. He will tear through that Sand King.
And
of course, Benny
Benny
was
yeah,
waiting
gets
for the
him on the
wisp.
reload. Great fight. Like, they just do what they should do in this situation. Gyrocopter goes in, tanks up the whole Roshan with the Satanic. Luna tries to go in with the Lucidum, scout things out. Great Wukong's command. Even though Storm Spirit managed to pick up the Aegis, still not a big loss. Gyrocopter managed to pick up the Shard, which he's holding. Not the best one. I think maybe he wanted to give it to someone else, but also needed a slot in a fight. I was like screw it, I'm gonna pick it up. This is game. I don't think NoPing has tools to come back because Storm Spirit is completely shut down. If we look at the timer, it's 35 minutes in. These are like 20-25 minute items on the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, exactly. And that fight, to me, kind of highlighted the difference between mid laners, right? It was very tangible evidence of, well, this guy is extremely farmed. Monkey King basically did all the damage in that last fight as Benny soloed Roshan, essentially, and kind of ended up just using his Satanic to heal back up last second. But Storm, all he could really do in that fight was just remove Aegis at the cost of his own life, while the Monkey King was able to just clean house around him. Even through him, in fact, killing him twice essentially there. Yeah, NoPing, tough fight for them, tough game for them from here. I guess they're just looking for the miracle fight from now, but again, there's still wards in their base.
Valky, I don't know if we caught that one. He tried to push Storm out with the Spear of Mars, which is doable. Like, you can vacuum Storm Spirit out of Zip, you can use the Spear of Mars. It was very close.
Huh, I knew you could vacuum out of Zip. I didn't know you could spear him.
Yeah, you can spear
That
him.
is skewer him right out of a ball of lightning.
Pay
That's amazing.
attention. I know a couple of tricks. I don't know all of them, but sometimes, you know, I come in because I saw it on Reddit.
Yeah, of course. Of course, saw it on one of the YouTube compilations.
You don't have to be smart. You just need to find right information. Like,
True.
I don't think there should be an excuse of being dumb today. I'm not talking about Dota, because information is out there, more accessible than before. And let's see the push or the high ground. Mars can
All
easily
the
set
palm of
things
your
up.
hand.
Yeah.
Like a phone. And like this game for Apu King of Kings at this stage, right? 16k up.
Monkey King
All
did
of
not die a single time, which is insane to think about. Has a full refresher. Refresher, one of the items that I feel it's going to get nerfed, considering how easy you can get it. And I think the cost, like, it got buffed way too many times. Also, it was 180. Now it's 160, so you can even use it more often. And having a double BKB, double Wukong's command for a fight just feels great. You can also siege, like, considering that Monkey King has that additional Wukong's command ring, it's very easy to siege the high ground. I don't think you can afford to go in on him.
No, yeah, I think they lack the damage to kill him as well. Even Luna, especially with BKB online, I think is going to struggle a little bit unless she gets some godly Daedalus crits. Who knows, though? There's very little else that NoPing can look to do at this stage, especially with the Storm. I mean, at least he's got Ball Lightning level 3, so, you know, he's not getting caught at every moment here with a slower Zip. But, yeah, I don't know what the Storm does anymore. I think it's really all on the back of this Luna.
Yeah, I mean, we can use the F word, not the one that you could, you know, the first one that comes to your mind, but the feed word. Because that's what he's been doing, I'd say. You know, sometimes you gotta be realistic, call it what it is. There's like one real stun that was Fiend's Grip, but it comes down to vision. They were not. His job is to jump Bane, because Bane creates too much problems for him, and he never managed to do so. Maybe at the early stages of the game, but after that, we have 10 players. Why are we not ready? Go when ready.
Gotta let the ping settle, Lacoste. It's you know, when you get this reconnect, there's the G from Apu Kings. Of course, with the 3 of them getting booted at the same time, usually it's some sort of server.
Oh, so
IP
that's how it
issue.
is. You gotta wait until it...
Oh, they catch Mini. They cut down his tree? No. There's no Luna and Io here. No chance to capitalize on the rest of Apu Kings. We're waiting in the fog, so a bit too spooky for them. Yeah, Benny's just massive now as well. You've got 2 really big heroes for Apu King of Kings, and really only 1 on the Luna. Maybe 1.5 if Analog can get the right target on his jumps in, but yeah, he's been struggling. He's back down to wave cutting duty. Good news, though, no Aegis for anyone on APU Kings. That was at least, quote-unquote, taken away, snatched away by the Storm in the last fight. There he goes, another big ol' zip back to the fountain and back again.
And look at what Walkie does. Kind of looks like he misclicked maybe to some of the people, but using Hood of Defiance there, let's say he catches an arrow, he's still able to blink out if there's no follow-up and stuff like that. If he gets initiated on by a Sanking, there is potentially like a blink out of the things if he gets caught by Storm Spirit. So preemptively casting it in this situation is really justified.
Yeah, I agree. It lets him stand up there aggressively and not be afraid to get his blink canceled by, like you say, any of these kind of AoE abilities. Moonlight Shadow, looks like they might just be able to catch Nuages here, but he's actually going to dodge this one out as well. And NoPing. This is, you know, the moves of desperation. You know, the PZLA from them, if you will, is they just kind of look for anything, any openings. But APU King of Kings, recognizing that they've not really stolen a game off of NoPing because they've fought hard and they've earned it, but they're not going to give any free opportunities here for NoPing to get back in this game. Look how they protect even the Monkey King as he catches these stray arrows.
You have very limited space where you can play. What you can try to do is potentially relocate to a certain part of the map, leave Luna there, and then she farms. It's a bit risky. Luna's pretty jacked right now, has Morbid Mask, so I guess she's saving for Satanic instead of Dragonlance to kind of have that second life. Or she might start to think about, if things don't go too well, maybe she needs a Rapier.
That would certainly help their damage issues, wouldn't it? Especially because there's no evasion, so you don't have to deal with that pesky problem. That might be tempting. For now, though, everyone's just going to continue farming up their Tier 4 neutral items. As NoPing, credit where credit is due. Finally, they've gotten the ward situation a bit more under control as they've set themselves up properly here in their own triangle.
Luna, thinking about getting Ags. There we go. I think if you wanted to get Ags, you needed to get it a bit earlier, because the combination with the Storm Spirit who jumps and then gets caught, especially jumping the back lines, could have made the difference. But we'll see. We'll see how it changes. What he wants to do is disassemble Dragonlance, keep that Ogre Axe, and buy Aghanims. So he's very close, just 1,000 gold away, if he wants to commit to it.
Yeah, it does seem like a much earlier item, but there are still very few defensive items, for example, on this Bane, on this Snapfire. Just blink. I mean, Aeon Disc is pretty good at saving your own life for the Snapfire, I would say. But Nuage is going to end up being pretty vulnerable to this with only the Glimmer Cape to back him up. But yeah, it just seems a little late. But what else can RDO do at this stage is, you know, the good news is that it also kind of helps the Storm be a little bit more useful, as you say, at this stage.
Analog going for Ags as well, so this is big. If they can get 2 Ags and get a good fight off of it. Oh, she also finds Timeless Relic. This is a perfect Storm Spirit item. So someone can hold Ceremonial Robe, which means lower their status resistance by 10, which means longer duration Vortex, and then he gets a longer duration Vortex from the item as well. But you can also give it to Luna if she wants to like get more damage coming up from the Eclipse. Let's see who's going to hold it for now. I think you need to give it to Storm Spirit.
Did you catch how quickly RDO did his shopping there, by the way? They relocated him for the shopping, and then he was brought home to the fountain, and he just disassembled and assembled probably 3 items faster than I've ever seen anyone do before. he had that so quick. That was impressive.
I mean,
so he's committed.
These players are good. Yeah, he's committed. Aghanim Scepter done. Storm Spirit. Oh, where did his money go? Wait, he had 3,000 gold. What did he buy?
I think, did he buy a Sange?
Oh yeah, he bought a Sange.
Right. Yeah.
Not sure that's like, if you're committing to this, Sange's not gonna make a difference. I would say you're still gonna die during the Fiend's Grip, during the Spear of Mars. Like the value that you get kind of gets countered by level 20 Spear of Mars talent. If you're relying on getting out of the combo potentially earlier with some status assist.
This could be big, though. It's Roche time right now. APU King of Kings, they've got the Snapfire decorated ward in the pit just to scout as soon as this next Roche is ready. NoPing, they've got themselves a ward now on the high ground. As they're going to spot Mini, they're going to go in on him, and that's the Axe reveal out from RDO. They're going to nuke through Mini, and it will not be a deathless game here for the Monkey King. After 11 kills straight, he will finally take a dive.
Okay, the only way to counter Mini is to Mini stun him with the Eclipse, apparently. And Luna's getting
Very
close.
good.
Like, Luna is getting close to level 25. That's going to be the big one. Plus 0.2 seconds, and then you are kind of screwed. But we'll see. Gyrocopter sitting on 7,000 gold. What he can do is purchase the Aghanim Scepter upgrade, get 1 extra slot, and then get the item. Because right now he's struggling a bit. Can't pierce through Luna's evasion. And we have
Pushes
another
up as
Aghanim
well.
Scepter on the ground. Buyback from
There we
Mini.
go. Kisses as Benny's going to buy back. They're going for this fight now, but Valky, he's falling low, and down he goes as well. The Glaive's bouncing off of Roche. 3 dead already for Apu King of Kings. As NoPing, are they really doing this? They're trying to bring back this game.
Roche is
RDO
dying.
He's going to slay Roche. He's going
Jeez.
to pick up the Aegis as well, as he's going to be in a 1v1 versus Benny. There's Valky after the buyback, having dealt with the first life here of the Luna as they set up the Wukong's command around him. There is no relocate to get him out, and that's going to be a second death straight here for RDO. Oh no, it looked promising for a second there, Lacoste. NoPing, they made me believe.
Oh, they did. But look at this. He also managed to pick all 3 items from the Roche. He got the Aegis, he got the cheese, and he also got the Aghanims. So Storm Spirit can't pick that one up. He already did. Has another 4,000 gold sitting on top of it. I want to see what his next item is going to be. Shiva sounds great. But if he also wants to play it, maybe a bit more fancy, I would say, a bit more flashy. Refresher Orb with Storm Spirit with Aghanim Scepter is kind of cool, not gonna lie.
Yeah, and especially with a Luna and a Sankey, I mean, you've got heroes to take advantage of that electric vortex, or the budget black hole kind of effect, right, where you suck them all in. I've seen that literally win games.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I believe it. No, it wasn't. It was in a different tournament. I was casting like a Thai Championships Cup or something like that. And yeah, it literally pulled back a game from jaws of defeat just off of this combo alone, especially if you end up taking your overload attack bounces. I don't think you should, by the way, this game. I think this is a game where Analog needs to be in creep wave cutting duties, as he has, to give him some credit, essentially delayed the game to this stage with how much he's been able to cut these waves. But yeah, this Ags on Storm Spirit could be a major turning point. RDO is going to have to buy back here, as I think Apu Kings, of course, they're going to force it out of him. And they conserve buyback on Benny, as well as Snapfire, but everyone else had to use it in that fight. So, again, a decent fight, decent showing from NoPing, especially getting all the loot from third Roche.
Yes, so Mini needs to be really careful. If Mini dies, this could be game. This could potentially just be the beginning of the end for them. They have so much tower damage coming out from Luna. Storm Spirit, he has Timeless Relic and the Quick Buy. I'm pretty sure they have the item. So 25 extra debuff duration on a pull. Sounds great. Just take it and give your item to someone else. So Ceremonial Robe, I will try to do the math right here, which is not going to be good. Duration 3 seconds on Vortex with the talent. So it's 25, that's 375, and extra 10%, so that's over 4 seconds pull duration. And imagine getting a refresher on top of that. It could potentially be 8 seconds pull from Storm Spirit.
That's the cost. We've got the player cameras now, so we can see what they're deciding. See, we have our lovely pause to, kind of discuss what we think we have. Now we can see the players and see what they're thinking as well. As both teams actually playing from a team house as well. There's Benny here, our gyrocopter player, maybe deciding how they're going to look to get into high ground, when they should expect this Luna buyback, what abilities they expect to be ready. Did anyone get any of the Roche bounty? No, Luna took it all. Yeah, he really just died for all the Roche bounty. Didn't even get in that much damage, just used his BKB to pick up everything.
I think it's worth it at this point, because they used buyback on... Who bought back? It was IO. That's it, pretty much, on their side. So it's really worth it.
So there's the readies. Guess while we're still pointing out items through the core with an E-Blade is not really something I expected immediately after Yule's Scepter here for the Mirana, into a Wind Waker that she has queued up. Fascinating item.
very fancy item and also super expensive. If you can buy it, I think 4th row should drop a Wind Waker casually. Like this item is so good in certain situations. Let's say you're playing against Faceless Void, you use like inside the black hole. It's you have a great value of using it on your allies to save them, but it also doesn't like give you. I don't see a hero who just goes in and straight up buys it, because Yule Scepter's great, and then you need to farm another. What's the cost? 1300. Like, yeah, it's just not happening. I mean, it might be good in this situation if you get in a grip. If someone like, it's a great late game item. My problem is, how do you get to that? Because Mirana right now, she doesn't even have buyback, so you prefer buyback over Wind Waker anyway. Having Yule Scepter and E-Blade is great, especially if you wanna, let's say, like use it on Satanic, use E-Blade for 4 seconds, and then use Yule Scepter for 2.5. That's just gonna mitigate the whole healing coming out from the Satanic.
APU King's, very eager to get this match started again. Yeah, things that Roche can drop. How about some some forbidden neutral items? Do you remember when we had like Phoenix Ash and the Ags? What was it? The temp Ags thing was in the game for like 2 days. Drop those.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When they added neutrals, they one of the neutral items was like a temporary Ags, or it was a buff that would give you.
Oh
Ag
yeah,
for like
that
5 minutes or something.
That's top tier stuff. Whoever thought of that, good stuff, guys. Yeah, it was too OP. Like, you had it for a certain period of time. I think it was mostly used on Luna, because Luna was popular at that time as well. And then
Lots
you
of Ember,
like,
as I recall.
well, here you go. Now we have this Eclipse that I can pop on my teammates, and you suddenly die. We win 2 fights, we kill another Roche, and we end the game.
All right, here we go. Speaking of ending the game, APU Kings, I don't think they could do it quite here unless the team fight just falls apart for NoPing, especially with buyback on RDO. But APU Kings, I don't think they'll be leaving from this push until they've at least gotten through that buyback.
Benny, sneaky one, using Trickster's Cloak, like a real trickster.
Very, very tricky indeed. So tricky for NoPing, as they're not willing to buy back for just the bot lane of Barracks, but mid lane is pushing in, so there's going to be no backdoor kicking in. Nice Lotus. That's also pretty tricky. Into the arrow. They use it for the setup. They're not going to buy back on it, and the side gunner is going to do his work to get through that last set of bottom barracks. And now it's just mid, standing between APU Kings and the Mega Creeps. As the Fortify is out, they don't want to buy back on this Luna, but 30 seconds, I think they're going to have to, Lacoste.
These are Mega Creeps. 25 seconds. Someone needs to go in. Someone needs to go in and like try to stun him, leap into Yule's, try to force something. There we go.
Kick it off. There they go. There's the Luna buyback as well. Storm ready to go on in. He's got a cheese. The Nightmare save, though. Dodge a lot of damage, but they're just immediately going to delete the Storm. Oh, he eats another feed grip from Nuages. He's got buyback, but he's dead for a minute and a half. Everyone from NoPing being zoned out by the Wukong Cement, but as it ends, Monster's going to make a second jump in. There's going to be the Eclipse, but Benny gets off the BKB. Mini refreshes, and he's going in again, but there's a pause, Lacoste.
Ooh, this is what we call, puppy pause. He says sorry, apology. Like, we had already 5-6 pauses, double sorry, so yeah. Well, let's see what happened. That did not give us enough time to theory craft. I see Snapfire with the Eon disc. So in the end, Luna was forced to buy back. And Storm
is
Spirit,
bought back now.
Yeah, he has very limited mana, but has cheese to work with.
And this time, there's at least no pesky Bane Fiend's Grip to catch him immediately. You can see Bane is currently orchided. This is interesting, though. I feel like we never get to do this, huh? The analyst never gets time to speak during a team fight. What are you seeing here, Lacoste?
I see that Bane is not gonna die. He has a Glimmer Cape, while Storm Spirit keeps his bottle instead of Dust of Appearance in his inventory, so that means that he should be okay. There will be no real follow-up. Sanking already pretty much used everything, and yeah, Glimmer Cape says bye-bye to Storm.
Yeah, says bye-bye. Monster as well. Oh, he's gonna have to eat a little bit of damage out.
Benny caught that arrow. Plus a rocket.
Yeah. Oh, great Nightmare save. Wow.
Man.
Oh, man.
Serum has been Yeah, just been on point with his grips on Storm Spirit, who goes in, but they need some kind of follow up. They need either they needed a better vision, or they needed Storm Spirit, or the Mirana leaping to the side and canceling the grip. Or we can say that this Kaya and Sanj could have potentially been a Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, very true, right? We were kind of thinking, oh, maybe this should have been the Ags instead, as and then he bought the Sanj, didn't have money for it, but then he got gifted the Ags as RDO was able to steal again all the bounty from third Roche. Yeah, just hasn't really found much. Now he's learned though, right? He's making adjustments. Analog, he's got the dust in the inventory rather than the bottle. Making adjustments.
Even if he gets that kill, it doesn't really matter that much. It's like 500 gold for him, but it also gets him closer to level 25. I lost personally track of time because we had so many pauses. Hype it up.
What? Oh, wow, Analog. Okay, he's going to be able to escape. Some fancy moves there. Sure, he wastes Arena Lacoste, but I would ask, does it really matter when you have a refresher on your Mars? Because he's got one. Double Arena, double Spear, ready to go.
He could potentially use 4 spears with his shard and refresher.
A lot of spears. A lot of control. I've seen that one before. Refresh spear to win the game. I think it was Team Empire versus Namiga or something during TI-10 qualifiers. Just a simple double spear sometimes is all it takes for you to break down a game and win a team fight here.
Late game Dota is insane. Like what you can do. But this is my problem with the sanking. If you are kind of losing the game. So he still does the same thing. Doesn't matter if he has level 20 talent. Level 25 talent is pretty big, but still very far away from it. So you have this Lotus Orb, Eon Disc. Your damage, still the same. Epicenter and Burrow Strike.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. To me, this is one of the last heroes. Not really. Let me think about this a little bit more. But you know, everyone used to say, "Oh, Ursa, TA." You know, these heroes they plateau right after
Not
like
anymore.
40 minutes. Not anymore. They don't. Sand King still does though, doesn't he? He, as far as his damage output goes, it feels like he's just extremely limited on the impact he can have. Once he's level 18, that's all you get from Epicenter.
Maybe, you know, in certain situations, don't get me wrong, Sand King's a great hero. When we compare scaling into late game, yeah, you can do well. Let's say you survive, your teammates die, you get all the last hits, you get all the XP, solo XP, then you're level 25, you get E-Blade, they're not moving, you get overwhelming blink. Then it's a bit of a different situation. You can scale, but you need those like 5-6 items, and then the hero also feels really, really good.
That's true. But at that stage, I mean, is it more the items or the heroes? Is they're going to set the Bane here yet again. Fiend's Grip is ready. They don't even need it. Lacoste, they don't even need it. They build an arena here, and that's going to mark. Here lies Analog. Storm Spirits. Oh.
Analog
brutal.
off your account. I don't know. This man.
Oh, oh God,
this was
Lacoste.
brutal to watch, dude.
They might have to here as this fight here is breaking out. Could be the last one. Yule Scepter and this procced here for Monster, but he's got really nothing in the tank. He's just going to die. Has buyback, though. That's why he didn't use a single spell there. But Tier 4 is under siege. Kisses as well, just keeping them in the fountain. Theo Lecor is going to have to leap back in here. At this rate, they might just kill him. No, he's going to be A-okay. But the towers are falling here. As Luna's been hit with a stun, ready to go on in. But there's another Wukong's and another arena here. Valky jumps on in. He catches Monster a second time. The control onto RDO is too much, and everyone's dead already. NoPing. They're going to end up dropping game number 1 as all the monkeys dance around them. APU King of Kings, they take down the Luna, Storm, and the IO draft.
Oh, what a performance. APU King of Kings or Ape King of Kings with this mini performance, you know, King of Monkey Kings, because this was top tier performance from him. Like, I've been really impressed. When I said, you know, game winning moment, he did extremely well in the mid lane, managed to kill the Storm with the help of the Snapfire. But yeah, some top tier stuff. Like, I really love the itemization. I don't know, 10 out of 10. I don't think you can get a better itemization. What you can get with the disassembling, what they've done. And yeah, I already signed up for a mini fan club last time I cast his games. Now I'm a platinum member.
There we go, platinum member, and you guys can be as well. Some top tier item builds and itemizations out from APU King of Kings is going to get them a game 1 victor. We've got a top tier panel as well, ready to break down that game a little bit more for you guys. Over to you, Avo.
Thank you for that, Richie. As you guys heard, we're part of the Mini fan club. I mean, Astini, you were talking about RTO, but Mini was one of the stand-up performers. I know you also have a lot of hype because I know you've coached him before. If you got 4 heroes, you better be good at all 4. And Mini was impressive on this Monkey King. What a performance. There was a bit of help from NoPing, let's be honest. There's a couple of misplays, maybe a little bit throwy, they gave him a little bit of pause there, huh? But overall, it was, I think, just a performance beyond what we were expecting from APU Kings, right? Astini, were you expecting this from Binomitas? If I told you Binomitas last season was going to beat this squad, would you have believed me?
I would not have believed, or maybe I would believe on a game that NoPing does a massive throw, but that was not the case. They just played flawlessly. That performance on Monkey King, and also Nuages on that Bane, like, it changed my mind on the Storm against Bane matchup, because I thought as a Storm you can abuse a little bit that cast point that Bane has, but he got Storm all the times, and impressive play by the entire team.
Kips?
Yeah, I mean, same. I had my doubts about the Storm into the Bane before, and sometimes you're sad to be right. This was definitely one of those moments, because otherwise Analog played a really sharp game here. And furthermore, I think as well, this gyrocopter pick, if you're not this savage about this, if you don't play up this hard as King of Kings did after laning stage, I don't think you get away with it. I don't think you win the farming matchup versus Luna, but especially this rotation that Lacoste immediately called out as the winning rotation, this is exactly what you have to do. You got to play this fast, and they executed it absolutely beautifully.
I'm telling you, Benny, to a degree, is a bit of a monkey himself. Like the guy. Really, that's why they give him the gyro. And usually, when you see these picks with comfort picks, especially as a panelist, we always talk about it. Say, well, maybe when you play against Div 1 teams, you gotta move out of your comfort. But if you play them this well, there's a reason for comfort. Honestly, this is a strategy they're very comfortable with. Last season, they were honestly gyrocopter every game that they could, and not a hero that we see anywhere else unless there's an IO with it. Honestly, styling this game. Very impressive. Also, shout out to the Snapfire Hanses. What a performance by him as well. Some catches incredible. Balki as well with a Mars that was within his talent pool. This was very different to a Lava game. It was not a game given to them. It was genuinely exciting Dota by King of Kings.
Completely agreed, and I'm a bit worried for NoPing right now, because they did this same draft 3 times in a row. Now they lost. They have to do something different for the first time since the start of the DPC.
I'm assuming they're gonna have some aces up their sleeve, though, right, Astini? I know these players are creative.
I'm pretty sure they have some other strats, because usually on Monster's team, he would always have his hero first phase, so they would either first phase Mars or first phase Tide. And that's what I would be expecting as a second strat, because that's how he played for the last year in NA, and I see no reason to change that if he can have such a strong lane with first picking a Tide, so they might go for something like that.
Do you think might be a little bit of a... do you think there was enough impact, from the Sanking this game from Monster? Because usually he's a very dominant player. Did you see the Sanking pick as being useful this game?
Useful, yes, but not as much as what you see him doing as an offlaner. It was okay, and you don't see Monster playing okay. You see him like game-breaking ultimates, like double Ravage or game-winning Arena, and he could do some things with the Mirana, but not what you really expect from an offlaner.
All right, guys. For this next game, Kips, I would like to know from you. I mean, you talked about that strategy from NoPing as well, but in their gameplay themselves, what would you like to see as an improvement for them this game?
Bit more cohesion in the team fights. If you know that you don't have the team fight advantage, you gotta fix the shot calling. You gotta especially make sure that you focus down people hard enough. And I think in this game, a lot of the times APU King of Kings managed to divide that damage really well, and it was of course made worse by the fact that they did have damage problems as well overall on NoPing. So you gotta shot call very hard, very sharp if you want to make up for that. So if they get into this kind of trouble again, really one by one, guys.
Okay, that's a good call. Astini, for you, what would you like to see from NoPing coming game number 2? What improvements in their playstyle?
That they don't go all in on a strategy like this, because the Luna strat, if you miss to have the first Aegis, you're already kind of lost in the game. They were just like with that slow death where you couldn't see them winning the game from the 20-minute mark. They were just like losing more and more and more, like delaying their death. But they were not playing to win. They're kind of playing not to lose. That you always lose like this, because they had no options, because they don't scale as well as the other team. They don't have any team fight. So maybe pick later in the draft your hard carry and have RDO on a better carry matchup, so you can be comfortable. You're not playing against the clock. You're okay with the game delaying, because South America Dota, you see mistakes from both sides. And if you get to that late game, fine, and have the better matchup, it's good. And usually the games go to that late game. King of Kings, they played impressively, but still, they have some trouble on closing games. That was very clear against Beast Coast,
True.
even against Lava that they won. So they can abuse that.
All right, we're going to have to see. We're going to take a very small break, guys, as we get ready for the next draft to start. And we'll finish this post-game panel and go now to the pre-game panel. We'll ask the same questions, but it'll be before a game, so it's going to be a different style. So we're going to see you guys then. Stay tuned, guys. Remember to follow Epulze Gaming if you want all the SA action. And we'll be back with the wonderful panel where we have an SA coach and a worldwide international renowned coach. That's Kips, by the way. So we're going to see you guys very soon. Stay tuned, and until 5 minutes. Bye.